It is July 21st of 2026, and this is the Court Gallery. Today we open in Judge Simmons' courtroom, where a defendant seems more worried about her birthday party than her probation violations. Then, Judge Simmons presides over a shocking and lengthy neighbor dispute involving accusations of stalking, harassment, and even a missing cat. Later in Judge McNally's courtroom, a simple traffic stop spirals into a major drug and firearms bust, with officers testifying about a canine alert and a stunning confession. And we close with a woman who has amassed an unbelievable 18 failure to appear warrants, and she tries to claim it's all because she never got the mail. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't play games like these in court. All that and more starts right now.
Parody to 6-1793. Appearance, please.
Ross Martin on behalf of the people.
Assistant Public Defender Justice Straub on behalf of Ms. Jordan Harrington, who is seated to my right. This is retail fraud third, pre-trial. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, the people have made a plea offer in this case in which the defendant would plead guilty as charged in the sentencing agreement to no front jail. I will defer to the defense as far as how we proceed today.
Thought I have Jordan Harrington on probation. When did I put Jordan on probation?
For April 23rd.
Oh, so there's a probation violation.
That's what I just was looking for. I don't see that they entered anything
Who's your probation officer?
in a job.
You're not sure? Why not? I can't hear you. Why not? You don't have a reason? Have you been reporting to probation? Oh, but you don't think it's important to know who your probation officer is? Oh, you didn't find it important to know who your probation officer is? You have the probation officer come up, please. Yeah. You have a seat. Oh, and they can bring the file. Back on the record in the matter of the state of Michigan versus Jordan Harrington. I think I have probation here. Let's see. Is that your probation officer? What's your name?
Joseph something.
What's his name? I'm saying you need to remember his last name, but you should know your probation officer's name. His name is Joseph. Okay? Am I talking to myself? I said, okay, you didn't respond. Okay. So the reason why I called you up, Mr. Sumter, is because I have a case here of a retail fraud third degree from my 7th, and I didn't see a probation violation.
I did not know about this.
So I need to make sure that while I have Jordan here, I can address both if possible. A probation violation, because obviously the alleged incident here having occurred on July 6th would have triggered a violation there. So would you need a copy of something out of this file?
I do not.
Okay. How are we addressing this retail fraud third?
So as noted, we extended an offer in which defendant would plead guilty as charged with New York jail. I don't know if the court would feel inclined to honor such an agreement in light of the defense probation status, but that it's our status as of now.
Thank you. Is your client been participating in mental health counseling? No? Wasn't that my order? Why are you not participating in mental health counseling? Excuse me? Have you gone to community mental health? So what do you mean you can't afford it? Community mental health gets free counseling and resource. You haven't gone, and I ordered it as part of your probation. That's literally the main thing I ordered as your probation, to participate in mental health counseling. And not only have you not done it, you picked up a new case. I'm sorry?
I was stealing milk at 3:30 in the morning.
Is that a guilty plea? You might need to counsel your client. If your client's not going to participate in probation, I have to put him in jail.
I think she might actually be amenable to that, Your Honor.
Going to jail?
She would like to schedule going to jail, yes.
The schedule?
Yes.
It won't be a schedule. This is not the doctor's appointment. I told Jordan to go get mental health counseling in April. It's July. No mental health counseling, new case.
I can say, Your Honor, that some social workers from our office, we recently had a transition in social workers. So the person who had previously been assigned to this case just handed that case off to another social worker in our office. She has been attempting to make contact with Ms. Herondine. I think they've been missing each other. But I do think the plan is to get her connected to community mental health.
It doesn't take a lot of planning. This is the kind of the issue I had even in the first case, is just this energy of I don't need to do what I'm supposed to do. Even when I'm talking to Jordan, they ask you what's your probation officer. I don't know. Doesn't care. I say you don't think it's important. Explain after Mr. Sumter comes up that it's important for you to know at minimum your probation officer's name. And Jordan's response is nothing. I said, okay, nothing. Because Jordan doesn't want to do probation. So I'm gonna go ahead and remand Jordan, revoke probation pending a hearing on the violation. And then if Jordan wants to enter a formal plea, although I haven't already admitted to stealing milk in the middle of the night from Quality Dairy, I'm assuming. If there wants to be a formal plea, that can happen. And then we can do one group sentencing on the violation and the new case. And then I can make sure mental health counseling happens because I can order it from the jail. Sounds like a plan.
Really would not like to miss my birthday on the 28th. I just reported your happy birthday. I'm very grateful. And I'm open to whatever you have to.
Oh, you think this is an open negotiation? I gave you probation. I gave you leniency after you had that other case. Can you give me that case?
I don't have the funds. I can't.
No, you could have went to community mental health. You could have gone and got help. I have it here. You're on probation when you were originally charged with an aggravated assault on mental health worker or medical worker. And because of your circumstances, I said, hey, just do probation and get engaged in your counseling. And you didn't do that. It doesn't cost you anything to go down to community mental health. Not only do you do that, you don't think it's important for you to do probation. You don't even think you need to know your probation officer's name. That's because you don't think it's important. What you think is important is celebrating your birthday. What I think is important is making sure you get the help that you need so that we don't have other acts or spiraling acts.
like to have a party on my birthday. I don't party. I just wanna be out on my birthday.
You have to have your priorities. And your birthday, I'm not scheduling you to come in for another court date. That's not gonna happen.
Just opportunities and not a certain.
No, you're going to be remanded today. I'm gonna set this for a hearing. You wanna set it for a plea? And I'm set it for a bond violation hearing. You have the right to have a hearing on the bond violation that you violated the conditions of your bond by picking up a new charge. If you're found to be in violation of your not bond, probation, your probation can be revoked. You can be sentenced to the original term of jail time. You understand that?
August 4th at 10:30.
August 4th at 10:30 for both a plea and a probation violation hearing. I'm ordering a screening and treatment while you're in the custody of the jail for mental health.
I'll give you your medications. I was just saying, yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. You said they did what with your medication?
They didn't give her medication.
And I'm just, if I can have another chance of probation.
Well, we can talk about that on August 4th.
I just got out of jail committee to say that that was the violation.
I'm sorry,
I just
She's
got out of.
asking for time served
I just.
time served for what?
for the probation violation.
Absolutely not. She didn't serve time on the probation violation. She has no time served on the probation violation. So where are we getting the time? What are you talking about?
Recently incarcerated.
That has nothing to do with the probation violation. I don't know what you were incarcerated for.
For the retail fund. Your Honor.
Oh, that has nothing to do with the probation violation. If you do not receive your medication, you need to submit a kite immediately, but I have put an order in the probation file. I'm gonna also put in the retail file to ensure that you're getting your medication and your mental health treatment. If you get a problem with TikTok Tase, you let me know.
I sure will.
Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing on behalf of the people.
You're all set. State of Michigan versus Christopher Lewandowski, 26-00305.
Ready, Your Honor. Your Honor, may I briefly go? We have a crime victim present and go grab it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Joshua Nushin, if you're on behalf of Christopher Lewandowski, who stands to my right.
Okay, this one's go and get the crime victim, but we do have a pre-sentence report. It was prepared on the 16th. You got a copy?
I do have a copy of it, Your Honor. It appears factually accurate. There's no deletions or additions. However, there was a correction I noticed on page 3.
Okay.
I can wait for Ross to come back in.
Okay, Mr. Marchina, did you get a copy of the pre-sentence report?
Yes, Your Honor. No deletions, additions, or corrections.
Okay, and you did have a witness that wanted, or a victim that wanted to address report?
She's requested that I address the report on her behalf.
Okay, you can do so.
Well, I understand the court. There have been some revisions since the statement that you issued. So just go ahead and read it. This is on behalf of Melissa. Your Honor, I am submitting this statement to explain how the defendant's conduct has affected my life and my family. Although there have been prior issues with the defendant regarding frivolous complaints about our dog, The harassment escalated significantly in June 2024 when the defendant had his teenage son place a threatening note on our door at midnight while wearing a ski mask. The note stated, "It's on, bitch." This incident marked the beginning of a pattern of intimidation that caused my family and me to fear for our safety. Since that time, the defendant has engaged in repeated stalking and harassing behavior. He has followed me to another residence at night, photographed both of my homes, approached my security cameras, demonstrated knowledge of personal information about myself and my family that he should not reasonably know, and repeatedly looked into our backyard to observe our private property and activities. These actions have made us feel watched, unsafe, and unable to enjoy privacy and peace in our home. The defendant has repeatedly yelled profanities and sexual insults in front of our children and guests. He has engaged in ongoing property-related disputes, including attempts to move the property line, flooding our yard with pool water, damaging our grass, breaking our fence, and making statements that he would take our home assets. He has also repeatedly involved law enforcement and other agencies in matters that did not warrant intervention. He called the police regarding normal activities, including mowing our lawn, falsely accused me of theft, and repeatedly contacted Miss Dig to claiming to be the homeowner of our property. This resulted in our yard being unnecessarily marked multiple times and caused significant disruption, stress, and waste of resources. When I removed the flags from our property as instructed by Miss Dig, he called the police on me again. Most concerning is that the defendant on November 29, 2025, specifically told Officer Burkett that he would not stop because she was not going to do anything about it. Unfortunately, his actions since entering his plea agreement have proven that statement to be true. In my view, this demonstrates not only an awareness of the impact of his actions, but an intent to continue them. As a direct result of the defendant's conduct, including following me to another residence, leaving threats on our door, photographing our property, and engaging in ongoing harassment, we were forced to purchase additional security equipment to protect our family and document incidents. We incurred $203 in expenses for 3 additional cameras and the necessary accessories that we purchased solely because of the defendant's conduct. These purchases would not have been necessary otherwise. The impact on our family has been substantial. I frequently worry about what may be happening outside my home, particularly when I'm alone with our children. I no longer feel comfortable allowing our children to play outside when the defendant is home, and my partner has largely stopped working in the yard because of concerns that the defendant will create conflict. What should be a place of comfort and security has instead become a source of anxiety and stress. Your Honor, when Mr. Lewandowski accepted the plea agreement, I truly hoped this harassment would finally end. Instead, it has only continued. Since he stood before you last to accept his plea agreement and you warned him to be neighborly, he has been peeping into our private backyard, continued making frivolous police complaints about normal daily activities, which the police determined to be unfounded, maintained cameras pointed directly at our home, including our bedroom and bathroom windows and our yard, repeatedly monitored our property, regularly activated a spotlight that illuminates our children's bedroom, waited in his car for our guests to leave before flicking her off, then following her for several blocks, and worst of all, trapped my cat, Callie, who has been missing ever since, and he is now actively trying to trap my other cats. His actions since accepting responsibility have left me feeling hopeless that this will never end. Rather than showing any remorse or changing his behavior, he has continued to try to find ways to harass my family and try to disturb our quality of life. I respectfully ask the court to give us relief and consider that his conduct after entering his plea demonstrates that without meaningful consequences and strict conditions, this pattern of harassment is going to continue and potentially escalate further. I respectfully request restitution for the $203 spent on the 3 additional security cameras and necessary accessories that were purchased as a direct result of the defendant's conduct. Due to the history with the defendant's stalking behavior, I also ask the court to prohibit the defendant from intentionally monitoring, photographing, recording, or otherwise surveilling me, my family, our guests, or our property. While I understand that neighbors may legitimately use security cameras to monitor their own property, I ask that the court prohibit the defendant from directing cameras, recording devices, lights, or other equipment directly toward our residents in a manner intended to monitor our activities or interfere with the reasonable privacy and enjoyment of our home. I also respectfully ask that as a condition of Mr. Lewandowski's sentence, he be prohibited from having any direct or indirect contact or communication with me, my children, our family members, or our friends. This should include in-person contact, phone calls, text messages, emails, social media, communication through third parties, and nonverbal gestures or any other action intended to intimidate, harass, or provoke us. Given his ongoing pattern of behavior, I believe these restrictions are necessary to protect my family and friends, prevent further harassment, and allow us to feel safe in our home. I further request that the court prohibit the defendant or a third party on his behalf from using law enforcement, emergency services, utility services, or other government agencies as a means of harassment. I'm not asking that legitimate complaints be prohibited, but that knowingly frivolous, retaliatory, or harassing complaints intended to intimidate or disrupt our family be treated as a violation of probation. I also respectfully request the longest probationary term permitted by law. My concern is based on the defendant's history and my family's experience with it. The defendant was previously on probation and his conduct increased after that probation ended. Given his stated intention not to stop his continued behavior after entering into the agreement and his history of escalating conduct, I believe ongoing supervision is necessary to protect my family and discourage future misconduct. Finally, I strongly urge the court to require a comprehensive mental health evaluation and compliance with any recommended counseling, treatment, or supportive services as a condition of probation. My request is not based on punishment, but on prevention. The defendant's repeated conflicts with neighbors, inability to respect boundaries, continued behavior despite police involvement in criminal charges, and apparent failure to recognize appropriate conduct suggests that intervention is necessary. Addressing the underlying causes of this behavior through treatment, education, and supervision may reduce the likelihood of future harassment, improve community safety, and help prevent similar harm to others. Thank you for your time and consideration. Respectfully submitted. And I would also note that you obviously have a written impact statement from Shannon. She also wanted me to just clearly convey that any the other crime victim, Shannon. She's requested I clearly convey, knowing that an element of stalking is unconsented conduct, that it's her position that any additional contact from Mr. Lewandowski is unconsented, and that includes ongoing issues from headlights being flashed for extended periods at night into her windows. So that is all she wanted me to add on her behalf. And as far as the people's position, I would respectfully request that the agreement in this case was to cap probation at 12 months. I would request that the court do impose the full 12-month term of probation. I think that moral recognition therapy would be an appropriate condition of probation in this case to help the defendant understand his own actions and his own role rather than trying to, I guess, blame others. And just in general, I think everyone in this room wants just, it'd be best that everyone just leave each other alone, just try to peacefully coexist. I think that's what everybody wants. And at that point, I will defer to the defense and to the court. Thank you.
We did receive an email or communication, I should say, from Shannon Avalora, which the court has provided to both parties. This is in her impact statement. She said, I am not good at writing those. This is all new to me. I've never had to deal with this before. I did try to write it in a way that the judge could understand some of what we have been through. It's so much hard to put it all down. If you have any questions or need to understand anything further, please don't hesitate to call or email me anytime. I just hope you can help me get him stopped and he and his family just leave us alone. He seems to be trying to see what all he can do to continue to get away with. For example, last week I was outside doing trash and my husband was talking to the mailman who is his work friend. Chris Lewandowski comes outside to get his mail, but he looks at me, then yells something to my husband. It seems like his game is to continue to try and harass and communicate would be against the bond and no contact order he is on. Then 2 days ago, he came outside when I went outside in the evening to water before 100-degree day hit, and he went over to the live traps he had put up and put a camera on it pointing at our home. This was just a stalking and harassment move because he has at least 6 cameras up already pointing towards us in his yard. So the camera is not needed. His other cameras work and can see that the cage clearly from where he had it sitting. Then after he got his camera situated and pointed at me, he sat on the front step and watched me through his cameras from his phone. As some of the cameras light up when they are live viewing. So he sat there almost 30 minutes while I was watering. He likes to continue to stalk and keep me in fear and see what he can get away with. Since this is all new and I never been stalked before, I am not sure if his behavior is loud while he is on bond. It seems like it, to me, it's not. He just seems to not take any of this seriously and wants to continue to campaign to make us fearful. I have lived in this neighborhood almost my entire life. I have many friends and family who live here. We have never had any issues with any neighbors. I take care of my mom, who also lives in this neighborhood in her own home and needs me close. Chris has seen or has been seen sitting in front of her house after he stopped me and followed me to her home. This is unsettling and very concerning. I just hope you can help us mistake to get him stopped. We should not have to deal with this stalking behavior and harassment. This is the second time he's targeted me and had a probation officer. As soon as probation and no contact were ending, he was worse than he was before. It is like he lives to keep this going to escalate instead of wanting to leave us alone. He had to take anger management class last time and did nothing. He seems to be very revengeful and wants to make our lives as miserable as possible and fear him. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your help. If you think we need to make sure you have my last impact statement, please contact Marissa Berry at the prosecutor office. I only have hard copies because I don't have a computer, so I ran them up to the officer after I typed them off the library. I went to see the picture of him when he got home one day and saw me sitting on the porch. As soon as he got out of his van, he went to the edge of his property to videotape me. This was included in the report, I think, but it will give you an idea of the bizarre, crazy behavior. I had put my chair sideways and a plant up to block him so that I could maybe sit on my porch and not be stopped. And he found a way around it by going through this. I will send the pictures separately. Thank you for all you do. I appreciate your time. Have a nice day. I think I provided you the pictures. Do you have a copy of the pictures? Can I just use those pictures? This appears to be a picture of a cat and a cat. Is this you? Who is this? Okay. This is a picture of, I suppose, the defendant with a cat. And it appears as a cat. Is that supposed to be their cat? I don't know what's happening.
We've had them. Melissa has alleged that there is a neighborhood cat that she had been feeding, that she had abused her cat, and that Mr. Lewandowski.
This cat.
Yes, and then Mr. Lewandowski trapped it, and she has not seen it since then.
But it's not her cat.
It legally was not her cat.
Oh.
Legally it was Mr. But
This
she
seems to
made
be
it
cut off.
target at her because they were that the cat that she had, some sort of cash concerns.
Okay, but the trap was on his property, correct?
I believe that's correct.
Something about, something's cut off our front yard and one facing our bedroom. I'm assuming, I don't know, this might be, I guess, to show, because the person who wrote this is not here. So I'm not sure what this is supposed to show me. Unless this is their property and it's supposed to show me his camera facing their property.
I think that is what.
Okay, and do we know where they got these photos from? Was this in the police report or something? How do they get a picture from his camera?
I believe that they took a picture of his camera.
It's probably
No,
from
this
their-
is the vantage point.
It's from their camera.
So
I
then
think
what?
that's a picture.
Oh,
of
okay.
his
So
house.
what is it supposed to be showing me? Whatever's in this circle? Well, I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is.
Your Honor, the picture I took from my phone of the camera.
Okay, what's your name?
Melissa.
I'm sorry, Melissa?
Yeah. and
Okay, you're
they
the
cut
other
picture
victim?
off. Yeah,
Okay, you know what this is?
yeah, I took that with my phone, it's showing their, one of, well, it's cut off because it shows the cameras that they have pointed directly at our house and our property.
Okay, what is the circle? What
That's
is?
the camera that they have setting on their garbage.
Oh, I thought this was a cup.
No,
Okay, that's a camera on the garbage. can.
yeah, and they have 3 other ones facing directly at our bedroom, windows, our front yard and our bathroom.
Okay, but is this is, so this is your house on the other side of the gate? Okay. And then,
I think that she was standing on her property taking a picture.
got it, okay. And then these are cameras, you say facing our bedroom and bathroom?
Yeah. That picture was taken from our bedroom window. We can see the cameras would be facing directly. at our
How can you tell what the vantage point of these cameras are? though?
The only thing it can look at is like that's directly at our, we have 2 bedroom windows and a bathroom window right there. And
Well,
there's
this
one-
camera looks like it's pointing that way. I got 9 cameras. You can't tell what you can see out that
The only
vantage
thing
point.
in that area is the side of our house.
And you believe that he's got security cameras to watch
The
this-
one he
your
said-
bathroom and
he
your
specifically
bedroom?
Said when he set it up, now I can see the whole thing.
He can see the whole thing?
Yeah, that's what he said when he set it up.
The whole thing of what?
To our other camera.
He told it to you?
He told our camera.
He told your camera. So he went and spoke to your camera?
So some of the initial allegations was him repeatedly walking up to their security camera and making threatening and harassing, often at some sexual messages to them.
Some sexual comments?
Yes.
Okay, this is another picture of the camera, correct, ma'am?
Yeah, he turned one directly towards our front yard. It used to be facing towards his front.
What is this?
That's the spotlight he has shining into our backyard.
This is your backyard?
That's our backyard and that's how much.
No, I mean where the light is. It's his backyard?
It's got a pool back there.
What time of day is this though?
Said on the bottom, I think it's like 11 or
It,
12.
it don't, it just says the time. It just says the date.
Oh, it's about 11 or 12 at night.
Okay, and then this is to show us the light through your home?
That's through the kitchen window, yeah.
Okay, and what time of day was this? I'm sorry?
Probably night.
Okay. Okay, you're saying it's the pool? At midnight?
Not saying that, I'd like to allocate first.
No, absolutely, you're gonna have, you've gotta allocate because this is a lot.
This is a lot. It's been a lot from day one, and I think the prosecutor will agree with me on that. We have 260 plus videos of neighbors corresponding or lack thereof. But I believe this all started when the Lewandowskis moved into the neighborhood.
Okay, so the others were living there first, the Lewandowskis moved in.
Correct.
Okay.
They have found out Mr. Lewandowski is a registered sex offender.
I saw that and I, not gonna lie, I immediately suspected, I wonder if this is an underlying concern.
So obviously, words were exchanged, which the prosecutor, I mean, we've seen it on videos between the complainant, her partner, to the Lewandowskis about his registration.
Okay.
The complainant's partner had used the weed whacker one day and described pedo into the Lewandowski's front yard. A lot of things have gone haywire.
And I don't wanna break
Yeah.
your rhythm, but the only reason why I'm stopping you is because as I was reading one of the impact statements, the first, I wrote notes. Because the statement of leaving something that's a note that says it's on, immediately to me, implies that there was a previous interaction. That's what it implied to me. That's why I wrote it there. Like, why would someone just came and said it's on? That means something was done to them first.
And I'm not saying talking in the camera, certain things that were said were acceptable. But this has been going on for quite some time. Police have been out. I think they know everybody within these 3 houses on a first, middle, and last name basis. Okay. I actually met the Lewandowskis at the house one afternoon, and I let the prosecutor know I was headed there in case we had more police contact. It is very heated. Somebody steps on the other property, 911 is called. Okay. There are more cameras between two houses than you would see in downtown Lansing. Okay. The Lewandowskis have cameras placed around their home to, at this point, protect themselves to a certain extent. They're not doing anything to harass, intimidate people since the plea has been entered. There's been no bond violations. He has been trying to use and enjoy his property the best of his ability. I've sent I've sent Ross some pictures in the past about camera placements, even watching some of the Axon camera videos that I've received has a camera angle from the complainant's back garage into my client's sunroom in their backyard. You can see right in waist up. And
You can see,
the camera, the video, you could see right into my client's sunroom.
so you had
Anybody
video
from the waist
from
up,
inside of the complainant's house looking into his house?
outside of the complainant's garage,
Okay.
where they have the
So you
camera
can
mounted.
see, how did you get the video?
It was tendered to me by the prosecutor's office.
Oh, okay, so that you can see that it's directed into his home.
Yes.
Got it.
So, at this point, my clients can't even speak inside their house without being listened to on, I'm going to say, a low end estimate is 13 cameras that I can see, even to the tree in the front yard on the adjacent property.
13 cameras on the other property or something?
Correct. It's like Fort Knox. So, when there's an issue or when Mr. Lewandowski's outside looking at this privacy fence, for example, he's got a pool and the fence has been leaning and it's starting to lean more and more on the property and it's going to become a safety hazard. And
Okay.
he's been instructed by this Lansing Police Department not to touch the fence as it will be a violation of this case. The problem is when that fence falls, his pool then becomes exposed and he's got a bigger liability of somebody falling in it or keeping people out. So he can't even touch his property to fix certain things without a bond violation being alleged or any contact. Like he's at the fence line, which he is allowed to be, looking at the property line and seeing how he can try to jury rig this thing before it collapses. I know that the complainants have put up more cameras since the plea. One is a motion activated light that turns on when the cameras run. And it is literally on the fence post pointing right down the fence line to the street, across the street into Shannon's windows. I mean, it is this setup. When I got there, you can tell exactly which three houses have been feuding for years. And it's unfortunate. Nobody's going to move. Everybody needs to be neighborly. It's affected the Lewandowskis where they can't go outside without running the risk of a bond violation. And for a certain amount of time, he wasn't allowed back in. Then we had him in for work hours. And now he's been there since the time of the plea. And the police haven't made any new arrests. They've come out, I think, once or twice because there was alleged trespassing that somebody might have mowed a portion of somebody else's yard by the fence line. I know that the Lansing police resources have got to just be up to here with this. And, I've advised, my clients were willing to sit down and hash it out with everybody and just kind of put it down. And I think a lot has to do with the SOAR registration status. He's been compliant. He's always been compliant.
This is a conviction from 22
Correct.
years ago.
Correct. It
that
has.
we don't know any circumstances about anyway. So that not saying that there's not a concern when you're in a community and you see certain types of neighbors always look up that kind of stuff. And so if you have children or whatever, there's not a concern. There's a reason why the sex offender registry is in place. But everyone on the sex offender registry is not a person that is here to cause harm in your community. I remember when I was at the Department of Correction, well, actually at the AG's office, and I was defending a case against the state of Michigan, and one of the defendants was really nervous. He was retired from the Department of Corrections. He pulled me aside. He wanted to let me know I'm nervous because I don't want it to come out that I'm on the sex offender registry. This is a retired officer from the Department of Corrections. The reason why he's on the sex offender registry is because his current wife of 40 years was underage when they started dating. Romeo and Juliet case is what they call it. I say that only to say you don't unless you know the facts of the underlying case, just seeing someone on the sex offender registry should be an alert to you, but does not give you license to decide that they're here to cause harm. I don't know if that's what's going on here. I don't know. I don't know if there's children in this area or if they're just concerned about their safety. But what is very clear is that no one is being neighborly.
Your Honor, if I may, Melissa has indicated to me that she would like another opportunity to address the court.
See again. You can come up, please. You can come right up to the stand here. Sir, you're raising your hand. What's your name?
My name is Connor Lewandowski.
Oh, this is your dad? Okay.
I don't feel safe going outside. Because
How old are you?
I'm 16.
You don't feel safe going outside because of what's going on in the neighborhood?
I've been threatened by.
Your Honor, I would object to taking a statement from him before rules brought for the defendant to speak, for the crime victim to speak, and the prosecutor to speak. I don't believe it's.
Your objection is overruled. You said you feel what?
I feel like unsafe to go outside because I've been threatened by both the neighbors. Been threatened to get my ass beat. My mom has been threatened to get her teeth knocked in by the neighbor, been spit at. And it's really sad that I'm scared to go outside. And like I have friends over, and this whole spotlight thing. We have been outside at 11, 12 at night in the pool, just having fun.
And for the record, the reason why I'm overruling your objection is I can receive a statement from any of his character references that want to submit a statement. That's nothing to do with the Crime Victim Right Act.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you for explaining.
Connor is the one who put the threat on our door at midnight.
Can you speak up?
Connor is the one who put the threat on our door at midnight. So 2 years ago, he was 14, being sat over by his parents at midnight to put a threat on the door. And he also is on video threatening us after he was arrested as well. So
After Connor was arrested or the dad?
Dad was
Okay.
arrested.
Just for the record, can you state your name?
Melissa Andrus.
Please spell it, please.
MELISSAANDRUS.
Okay.
I just heard a lot of like victim blaming because we did not know he was on the sex offender list for 2 years after they moved in. We didn't even know their name. We were continuously, no problems before they were here. They moved in and it was constant calls about our dogs, nonstop. So we do have a camera on the garage, a farthest vantage point to see what the dogs are doing, so we can prove that the dogs are.
You don't have to explain to me under any circumstances why you have a camera.
Right.
Nobody
So
has
it
to
is not-
explain. Everyone has the right to put cameras up in their home.
But it is not to do there, it's to watch the dogs, to make sure that the dogs are.
I don't believe no one, I would hope no one's
But
paying for
This
camera
had
footage
nothing
to view
to
someone
do-
else.
We did not know that they were on the sex offender list until after we got a ticket for the dogs, in which we won because we have camera footage to show that the dogs were inside the house, they weren't even outside the house. But that's when we found out what his name was. And after that, it's completely found out that he was on the thing, but it had nothing to do with that. We've never had anything, we've never indicated anything about it. Well, my partner did eventually because he kept scalping our lawn and mowing it down. But this all
You're
started.
saying, when you're saying I don't know who you're talking about. You're saying
Mr.
Lewandowski was
Lewandowski,
scalping your lawn?
As soon as they moved in, it started constant. We constantly had animal control and the cops at our house.
Because of
all
your
the time,
dog?
Because of the dog.
Okay.
And then we were not like tolerating that behavior. We were telling them like the dogs are not barking. We were showing them video footage of it. And then it escalated because probably because my partner had gotten tired of they came over into our yard, they mowed it down and it was exposing dirt.
He came into your yard?
Yeah, he was mowing 2 feet
Okay.
into our yard.
There was no fence at the time, is what you're saying?
No, we ended up putting one out, but his wife pulled it out and threw it all over our yard. And that's why we installed more cameras, because she started pulling our fence down, and our other cameras were old and we missed it. So we replaced the other ones with new ones so that we could see, because she was tearing our fence down and she was having her son help. So they were out there throwing it all over our yard. And so, yeah, at that point, after 2 years of this constant whatever, we did carve a thing in their yard or whatever, because he
You
was just
carved
sick
the
and
pedo
tired
in
of it.
there?
Yeah, and I
Because
was
you
mad at
already
him.
had an
I
ongoing
hollered at him
dispute.
because I told him, I'm like, we have tried very hard not to respond to anything they do. We put up the cameras so we could see what they were destroying, because they were started pulling our fence down. And then he started coming over and talking to the cameras. He started saying stuff about the kids, the younger kid's mom, and telling me that
Your children's mom, you said?
the John's kid's mom.
Who's
Like
children?
my partner's
Oh, okay.
friend's mother.
Okay.
He was coming over, and when she was over dropping the kids off, the kids were outside playing. He was yelling, "You need to learn to keep your legs closed. 3 baby daddies," and in front of the kids, screaming that in front of Paige, screaming that, insulting both of us in front of our
On the
children.
cameras?
On the camera and in person when she
Okay.
was there. They said that they called the news because we required assistance over when the government shutdown happened in November, and we requested assistance. So they were on the cameras telling them, "Oh, we called the news because you're misusing whatever because you got assistance or whatever."
Wait,
Like,
how would
every
they know that you
single thing.
requested assistance?
Because they turned their camera to face our yard and only our yard, so they can see our front yard. So when the people came up to give us the assistance, they have it on camera. And they called on us 2 times since the plea deal. They called and they said that our dogs were barking consistently. And we pulled up all the footage, and 2 minutes of the entire day added together is how much our dogs barked. We had the back door open so they could go in and out of the house as they felt like, because it was 70 something degrees. It was nice. So they were coming in and out of the house, and all together barked less than 2 minutes. The cops showed up at our house. Oh, they said that you're harassing them by letting your dogs out to bark all day. And then she called because the grass where our fence is, we have 4 inches behind, that's our property. They're not trimming it. So it's overgrowing. So I tried to reach back there in our property, in 4 inches
Get
behind our
whatever's
fence,
overgrown.
to try to cut it down. In 2 minutes after I did that, she was on the phone with the cops, calling them to say, "She's trespassing. I want her arrested." She took 5 officers' time and 1 sergeant's time, demanding a sergeant come out and arrest me because I was trying to trim the weeds behind the fence. And we've been doing nothing. We're sitting there in silence in the house. We have not engaged aside from the pedo thing. We have been completely silent. They will not be able to show any footage of us doing anything. And the cat, I have been taking care of the cat. I had an appointment for the cat the next day to go get microchipped and veterinarian care. He saw me put out the traps because he had the cameras up.
Just a moment, please.
Trouble.
We'll be ready when we're ready. What's the matter? Okay, sorry.
Last year in August, he told our cameras, he looked at our cameras after taking the live trap out of the yard. He looked at our cameras and he waved and he said, "There's another dead cat. Now I can trap another one." And then as soon as he saw me put up the TNR traps for my cats to go get veterinarian care and get them microchipped, he hurried up and he armed his live trap and put it on directly on the other side of our fence where they eat. And my cat had been there every day for months, multiple times a day. And she went into
Is it
his
this
trap.
cat?
Yes.
But my understanding is this is not your cat.
I have been taking care of her. I food, shelter,
this is
and
not
I
your
had a
cat,
medical appointment. Yes, I consider her my cat.
No,
Miss
not your
Callie,
consideration. You don't own the cat, ma'am.
I was microchipping it the next day. So the police
How can you
said,
microchip someone else's cat?
the police said that because I've been taking care of her, that she's considered mine. They have an open larceny case right now that they're investigating.
An open larceny?
Yes, because she's mine. I take care of her
I don't understand
And-
how the larceny is connected to the cat.
because they sold the cat. He took the cat, put her in the garage, and never let her go. She's disappeared. She never returned.
Oh, you're saying they have open larceny cat because of the cat?
Yes, because she was
But it does-
considered mine because I've been taking care of her for several months.
But the cat lives in the community.
She's an outdoor cat, but I take care of her. I feed her, I house her, and I had an appointment for medical care. that's what they consider owning a cat or responsibility for the cat.
Well, I don't know, because if it's an outdoor cat, how do we know the cat doesn't have a home?
They check for a microchip and everything.
We don't have to microchip a cat.
Right.
What if the cat has a home and then during the day it's
Animal
roaming?
control says she's considered my cat because I've been taking care of her. I have food, shelter, housing, and I'm providing medical care for her.
But the cat doesn't live in your.
No, it doesn't have to live in the home in order to be considered mine if I'm taking care of it and providing medical.
But so then in the winter the cat can live outside, is what you're saying.
Yeah. if
The
it wants
animal
to come
control tells
inside,
you that.
yes. Yeah, I have a shelter that has heat inside of it.
In your yard?
On
For the
front
cat?
porch. Yeah, on the front porch.
Oh,
There's a
so the
camera
cat
on
goes
top
in
of it.
there in the winter.
Yeah, and there's a camera on top of it.
So you do
I can
have
watch.
an indoor shelter for the cat.
Yeah,
Okay.
I provide shelter.
So you
food,
rescued the cat, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and I've got 2 other cats that I rescued. One of them right now is inside the house. She had to have surgery when we got her from the TNR program, and I got them all medical care and I got them all fixed.
So if you own the cat, then you do know that the cat can't go on someone else's property.
Well, she's an outdoor cat. There's outdoor
If
cats.
it's
all
gonna be, if you're gonna take ownership, I don't have to let your cat be on my property if I don't want your cat on my property.
over.
You do know that?
No, I did.
Yeah.
So.
If you say it's yours, now you're responsible. If your cat come on my property and tear up my landscape bed, who do you think is responsible?
The cats have never.
No, I'm
come
asking, it's a
from me.
hypothetical.
Right.
Who
Then
would you
it would
think
be-
now,
it would be me.
you've now taken ownership
Right,
of
it
this
would be
cat?
me. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the concern that you have when you take ownership of something that you say you want to live outside. Well, now you're responsible when it's on other people's property and they don't have to, if they have a pool, hypothetically, they don't have to allow your cat to be drinking in their pool or whatever. Anything else that you want to share? Because I want to clarify, there is no victim blaming.
Yeah, I just heard, well, they did this and they did that, and it's because I'm a pedophile. It had nothing to do with any of his record or anything. He didn't even know his name when this.
And then
started.
because of the already
It was because
feud,
of his action.
then you did finally, because you got a complaint, then you finally got his name because
Right.
of, okay.
And so we didn't even know anything about him. We were trying so hard to just ignore him. And then it just escalated from there because we kept getting calls after calls after calls. And then he started coming into our yard and mowing into our yard. And he just.
Okay, but that's been addressed though, is my understanding. Let me, because I do have to bring the jury up. I just want to understand, is there a meaningful avenue for you all to be neighborly next to each other?
I don't know, because I've asked officers to have conversations with him before and say, could you please let him know to, this or that? And they're like, he's just not, like, we've tried and it's like talking to a wall. And that's why I said, I feel like he needs to have like a mental health evaluation to kind of like talk to him about, like, this is not neighborly. This is why this is wrong. Like, you think that if we are responding to what he is doing.
Okay, let me stop you and ask you a question. Do you think that there's a meaningful avenue for you to be a neighborly individual next to your neighbors? Okay. No, I said you. I'm talking about your actions. You're responsible over your actions. You're not responsible over anyone else's, and you can't control their actions. Can you be neighborly?
I've tried.
The answer is no. He's not willing to be neighborly. You see, her answer wasn't like that.
Well,
She said,
but her actions.
well, no, you're all right. You're a victim blaming.
No,
Yeah, you pled guilty to stalking. She did it. That is, if you can't be neighborly, if you can't say, no, I can be neighborly, I can recognize that even though I have a pool there, it could be a concern that there's a bright light shining into my neighbor's bedrooms at midnight. I can be neighborly and turn that off. I can be neighborly and not mow into their property or maybe not trap their cat that I know that they're caring for because it's walking through my backyard. That's neighborly. I asked you if you could, you said no. Any additional allocution?
I'm just gonna put on the record that I've talked to Chris about this before and it's Ross about this just now, but I'll put on the record, I will be the intermediary. I will take everybody out one night to dinner and we can sit down in a public place and hash this out. And if we can't work it out, we can't work it out. And it's my treat.
I try
Because
to talk to mediators.
I don't want to be back here.
No, it's not even just being about being back here. It's just we're supposed to be community, right? We live on the street together. We all pay taxes together. Hopefully we're all working and pouring into the system together. Why can't we share, even though we have differences, why can't we share community or be private? I live in a community. I mind my business. I did recently have someone ring my bell and ask me if I could turn the chirp off on my camera system. No. But I'm not. What I will do is I'll adjust the times that it's chirping to be neighborly, but I have a security measure for a reason, and it has nothing to do with you. Yeah, it just let you know you're on my property.
And that's what I had when the one time that we have ever conversed, that's what I said. I never once came over and said, hey, dogs are barking, or hey, this is bothering us, or anything. They never came over. It was just police. We never had any incidents before. Nobody had ever complained about the dogs. There's never been an issue. And all of a sudden, they move in and it's boom, 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 boom. And they're running their sirens to get the dogs to bark. They're doing all this stuff. And we're like,
well, everybody is not as animal friendly as you may be. And
right.
You sound like you are very animal friendly. And he sounds like he's not if he's trapping cats that walk through his backyard.
And we don't need to have a conversation to all like get along as friends. And we're just trying to not interact. But when I'm getting called for trying to trim like the weeds and I'm getting police,
it's petty behavior now. I agree. I don't think they need to go to dinner. I don't think they need to go to dinner about anything that's petty. I think what needs to happen, to the credit of if the officer did say that your client is not willing to formulate his mindset that I need to be neighborly. And let's start over with a fresh slate. Let's moving forward. I'm not going to call 911 because her dogs are barking. If her dogs are relentlessly barking, that's different. But put your hand down. We've had enough allocution now. But I'm not going to invoke law enforcement who should be out here fighting crime. Okay. Because I don't want to hear a dog barking, and I'm not going to leave a light on that's beaming into their property late at night. I can't address his cameras and where they're directed. You can put your cameras wherever you feel like you need to put your cameras. I don't have
an issue with the ones that he has directly at our house. He literally turned it so that he.
I'm just like, listen, like the same person who came to ring my bell, which I didn't even answer, to ask me to turn my truck off, has one camera and it faces directly towards my house.
Right, and
I don't like it.
That he was.
I don't like it, but you have the right in your property to put a camera wherever you want.
But if somebody's been following you to different residences,
that's different. That's different than I can't control where he puts his camera, is what I'm saying. I can't control him. I can't allow him to follow you, but I can't control where he puts his camera. He has the right to put a camera wherever he wants around his property if he believes, I would hope, for his security. I don't know why anyone else would pay for camera footage, to be honest. But you also have the right to protect. If you have windows, put the shades down when it gets dark so they can't see in there. I can't tell him you've got to move your cameras. I don't have the right or authority to do that. That would be like me telling you the same thing. You can't put a camera directing yourself towards his house, even though you may have a valid concern about your safety. Right. And so you have the right to put your cameras wherever you want. And so I can't address the cameras. He's not allowed to follow you anywhere. That's ridiculous. And who's spending time following people? Right? That's ridiculous. And if someone is following you, we in the court like to preserve evidence. And you've got cameras. You see someone following you, snap a picture of it. You call 911 because that would be ridiculous. And that would create a presumption of something bigger than just a neighborhood dispute. That you're going outside of your way to follow a neighbor somewhere.
To my other residents. Up to my
and when and you saw him, wasn't he in his car when this happened?
Yeah, I have him on camera.
And that you have it on your camera yourself?
Yeah, I have it on my security cameras over there.
And then when he got there, what did he do?
Told the police. He said, he's like, see, this is the other house, and he showed the police pictures.
You saw that video?
Yeah.
I think this is from a few years back.
No, it wasn't. It was literally last year. What are you talking about?
Okay. Ridiculous.
Last summer.
But it's ridiculous. If obviously it's documented. What in the world are you following a neighbor for to their other house and then telling the police something's? I would agree something's off if you're doing that. There's something what you would probably are a little crazy if you're doing that. You're following someone to another house and then videoing it or pictures and giving it to the police. Put your hand down. I'm done. I got to bring a jury up here. I think the recommendation is appropriate because anytime you can't control your behavior and the judge asks you, is there's a meaningful way for you all to come to resolution so you can live in peace in the property you pay for in this economy, and you tell me no, Well, then we have to supervise your piece then.
One thing I'd say with the recommendation and what you follow from it. I'd ask that you strike the alcohol and drug testing. Alcohol and drugs have never been an issue here. It's never been alleged that we've been drunk at night, walking around inebriated. Had no issues on bond with it. There's no substance abuse allegations whatsoever. So I ask that that be stricken from any recommendation order.
I think even in the report, it indicates a concern about the defendant dialing back his remorse. And I don't think he can have remorse for his action. And I'm not saying that he doesn't have a reasonable position to take as it relates to anything that he believed he was wronged about. But we're here for your actions. And you're only to be accountable for your actions. And you've not shown me, even in my direct question to you, about how you can be neighborly. It's, you know what? Yeah, Your Honor, maybe I won't just be calling the police on them. I'll instruct my wife not to have, comments back and forth, because what we should be trying to figure out is how everyone can be comfortable in their own community. That it's unreasonable. It's unreasonable. And so if you can't figure it out, then we'll navigate that for you. The order of the court, ma'am, and you can release yourself from the stand. Thank you. 90 days Ingham County Jail with credit for 2 days. Also spend 88 days upon successful completion of 14 months probation. While on probation, I'm going to continue the no contact order. With Melissa Andrus in this matter. We did receive a letter from someone else, but I believe was the plea firm to dismiss one.
Yeah, it was dismissed one and then attempt on the other. And then we had a sentencing cap for 12 months probation.
Oh, 12 months is the sentencing cap. We won't go beyond that. I don't know. I hope it wouldn't be necessary. We go beyond if he violates, I can tell you that. And we won't hesitate with that, because if you can't be neighborly, then you need to go live on an island by yourself. That's just what we have to do. We can't figure out how we can work with each other. And I mean, all neighbors are not great. I have a neighbor to me that his property is always overgrown. I could easily make life hectic for him. I don't. Why is that beneficial? I have neighbor. I don't have any animals. I have all my neighbors have animals. Their dogs bark all the time. Cats walk through my property all the time. I could easily put up a trap and trap people's cats. I could easily call animal control and complain. That's not neighborly.
Against the law.
Excuse me?
It's not against the law to be that neighborly.
No, it's against the law to create the kind of interactions you're creating.
Well, they're creating.
And that's why you're here.
They're creating.
And you have yet to take any accountability for your actions. And so until you can take accountability, then you can see how you need to do your part to move in a different direction. But because you are not, and you think that you have the right to continue to do this action because of whatever they're doing, it's not going to fare well for you. That's the problem. I think your attorney has tried to explain that to you.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has. So if he's willing to take everybody out to dinner on his expense after this case is over.
I asked him to.
Okay, so you're gonna take credit for that too.
I did. Ask him.
Mediation, break bread.
You
I
say
suggested a pool party.
I don't think they want to come to the floor.
I don't think so, but I suggested it.
I'm going to order that he not possess alcohol, marijuana, or a controlled substance. He's not to use or possess a firearm, ammunition, or weapon of any kind. He is to maintain his employment and provide evidence of that. You're not to be at any bars or nightclubs. I am not going to require testing. So that will only become an issue if the police get called to your house and you're drunk or something to that effect. I'm just telling you how this could be coming in, because I'm not going to order testing because I'm not concerned about that. What I'm concerned about is, can you be neighborly? I'm not saying that you should allow yourself or your family to be abused if that's what you believe is happening. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you are in control of your actions, and you do not have to trap somebody's cat unless they're doing some damage to your property. You can shoe a cat.
I did not do that to cats.
I could believe that. I could absolutely believe that.
Am I gonna get a cat in my trap?
If
every once
it
in a while?
goes in there.
Absolutely.
If it goes in there,
I
but I
can't
think the
control the
allegation is
cat.
that you kept the cat after that, which I don't.
No, we
believe.
let it go.
Okay.
So
And even to your credit, I think that at this point, because of the nature of the behavior, everyone is ultra sensitive to everything that's being done. And that goes to you too, ma'am. You have to not be ultra sensitive about everything. Everything is not an attack on you. Every time you see the light on his camera, it doesn't mean you can decide that he's watching you. You don't have a clue who's doing what on their phone.
well, when they come on my property, then that is against.
Did I ask you to keep talking while I'm talking? Did I not? It should not take me an hour to sentence you. I am explaining to the neighbor that she tried to be neighborly, which she said she could. And the thing is, you don't know what someone is always know what someone's doing just because it may be perceived that way. You may think that the camera's in your direction, but it might not be. It may be in also picking up the flow to his windows that are over there. I don't know, but don't always assume that everything is about them being out to get you. And so, but if you're trying to mow your lawn or get the overgrown and then the police show up, I think it's safe to assume this is about you. That's not being neighborly either, because the neighborly person would make sure their stuff isn't overgrown onto their neighbor's stuff. That's first. That's what a neighborly person. You don't have to worry about trimming or on my side because I'm gonna take care of it for you. So everyone needs to do their part, but you're required to do your part because you're under court supervision. And so I am going to order anger management.
I already did that.
You'll do it again. Talk over me again. I'm not your neighbor. You'll do anger management and provide evidence of that. I'm gonna write again because I think you have a lack of control over your mouth.
I have the right to say what I want on my property.
You are not in your, this is my property right here. You don't have the right to say what you want when I'm sentencing you. And when I tell you to stop talking over me, you take this stance and you bend your knee and you put your hand in your pocket and tell me what you have the right to say. I have the right to give you 90 days in jail right now, plus a contempt. Because I've already ordered you to stop talking while I'm trying to sentence you. This is not your property. This is a courtroom of law. There will be order. I've given more than ample time for everyone to get their words out. Even when the prosecutor objected, no, I'm letting everybody have their moment. But when it's time to stop, you have to be in control of your mouth. You have a mouthpiece. Okay? Thank you. Again, anger management group, you'll provide evidence that you've completed that to the probation officer. And I got to check the wrong thing. You'll provide evidence of your employment. There's a $30 per month oversight fee for each month of probation. That's $360, $75 crime victim rights fee, $50 state minimum costs. I'll waive discretionary fines and costs at this time. Any additional matters for the record?
Nothing on behalf of people.
No, you're wrong. Thank you.
You're all set. Thank you.
Garrett Burkhalter. Garrett Blake Burkhalter, 26G710-629.
Ron Edward Zelak on behalf of the defendant. Give your name, sir.
Jared Burkhalter, Your Honor.
Judge, before you take the plea, I have to advise the court, just because it's only fair, that he's the stepson of Victor Martin, who everybody in the court knows.
I knew his dad.
I know.
I liked his dad.
I just want to.
I like
this
this.
problem with him hearing his case, do you?
No, sir.
I liked his dad a lot, Cecil. He was a good man. Now, it's not going to help you here.
No, well, that's what I'll.
If anything, I'm more disappointed.
Yes, sir.
Don't be doing stupid things. You've been in front of me on once before for something.
Stevie.
All right.
So you're a lawyer then too?
So,
All right.
so no, that's fine.
Your Honor.
You can't be doing this though, okay? I don't want you coming back in front of me after this case. You got it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we have here a super drug charge And then we have an OWI charge. He stands mute. We already covered this, but he's going to stand mute and waive formal reading on both, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then I'm going to dismiss the OWI. I'm going to dismiss the super drunk. He's pleading to operating while impaired. And then it says OIC okay with offer. I hate when they start telling me what to do, though. 18 to 24 months probation, no early release, whatever that means. I can't agree to that.
It's only a recommendation.
I hate when they do that. Why are they putting this stuff on here? No early release. The statute says I have to give them early release.
That's fine.
Is this Ms. Esmeralda?
Sorry, what, Your Honor?
This is Ms. Esmeralda that wrote this up. Right?
Yes.
Call her in,
She
John.
was- Gary Robinson asked her to give some stringent conditions in order to reduce it to an impaired. Their policy is to take it down to one for drunk driving.
I don't like.
Well, Your Honor, it's only a recommendation. He doesn't have a problem with it, Judge. Blood came back at 0.25. It was a blood draw. And there's some give and take because
I'm not saying it isn't justified. I'm just saying I don't like them writing this garbage on here because they're not the judge and they're telling me not to give early release and the statute requires I do that. So I'll call her in. I'm going to make sure it's a recommendation. We'll go from there. If you plead guilty to operating while impaired, possible penalties are up to 300 fines, 93 days jail, 360 hours community service, court costs are all 4 points. Will be added to your record. Your license would be suspended or revoked in accordance with your record. Do you understand that?
you understand that, right? Let's go.
And also, your vehicle could be or might have to be immobilized depending upon your record. Do you understand that? All right, counsel, your appearance, please. I just want to make sure that this is just a recommendation. This is not part of a sentence agreement.
Yes, Your Honor, I know they are recommendations.
But also, when you write no early release, you realize that's contrary to the statute, right?
I understand.
Because they're by law, it doesn't matter. He's entitled to be discharged after half the time, right?
I understand.
So you're just writing this down so you. All right, good enough. Good enough.
And
Would you just write recommendation only? Sir, you understand all your rights?
that's correct.
You understand you plead guilty, you're gonna be giving up all those rights and we're not gonna have a hearing or a trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you have any questions?
I do not.
To the charge operating while visibly impaired, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Were you operating a motor vehicle in the
Gibraltar.
city of Gibraltar, county of Wayne on February 28 to 26?
Yes.
And did you drink alcohol prior to that? And what did you drink and how much if you did?
Yes, beers, a couple shots.
How many beers?
Like 6 beers, 2 shots, 3
What-
shots.
How big were the shots?
It was on celebrating birthday, so about quarter shots. Full shots.
All right. And was your ability to operate that motor vehicle impaired due to the consumption of the alcohol? And if so, in what way?
Yes, and let me ask him some questions because these young men try to live a lot of. By the way, I want to thank the prosecutor because I put that in as a part of the negotiation pressure on the prosecutor's office, and that's why that recommendation was added. Sir, you were told by the officer when he pulled you over that you have a loud truck and he clocked you for speeding. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you believe that was due to the consumption of alcohol?
Yes.
All right, you're not trying to excuse it by saying your truck was louder than the other ones. You couldn't tell how fast you're going. All right, Judge, and the blood draw was at 0.25.
Can you stipulate that that was an accurate reading?
Yes, Your Honor, and you agree that the police department has been very generous to you in this matter?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Are you on probation or parole right now?
No, Your Honor.
Anybody force you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
What is he doing with his life?
Tow truck driver, Your Honor. He doesn't have a CDL.
I'm going to accept your plea to operating while impaired, dismiss the super drunk and the OWI. I'll tell you, this is too high for me. He's 23 years old. He just turned 23. He's going to be on a sober link for a while. I'm going to give him a personal bond of $1,000. You cannot leave the state without the consent of the court. You cannot violate a law. You must appear in court as direct. No alcohol, no marijuana, no illegal drugs. We're going to give you a form. I want you going at least 3 times a week, and you're to be on a sober link device by the end of the day. You understand that? It's a machine you're going to have to blow into, so do not be consuming alcohol. You do that, you're not going to get along well with me. You got it?
I swear.
Judge, can I offer one redeeming quality that disappointed not only his stepfather, his family, but the police department. A few weeks earlier, he had gotten an accommodation for rescuing someone drowning in the Detroit River in the channel. And they gave him a big proclamation, and this happened shortly after.
I'm not surprised. I mean, I thought his dad was a great guy, but you cannot be doing this stuff. You got it?
All right, we'll wait for the sentencing.
All right, so we're gonna give you a sentencing date. What date do we have, Lisa?
August 4th at 8:30.
I'll be here.
That's the last one I set with you. So you're gonna be screened and assessed. They're gonna tell you how to go about getting the SoberLink device. He's gonna hand you an AA form. Every time you go, you have to have that form signed, and every time you come to court, you have to bring the form with you, okay? Let's straighten this out before it gets worse. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Have a good day. Good luck.
Judge, we still have another exam that the attorney hasn't checked in for.
That who isn't?
The attorney.
What exam is that? Lisa, do we have another exam?
Butler.
Yeah, which one are you looking at?
Butler.
Butler.
Judge, that's the one I was asking about with Clinton dogs. I don't have my witnesses present. I tried to call him to see if he could just zoom in just so I can, since I can even move forward on it. I couldn't get a hold of him. They kept saying both failed. I tried about 2 or 3 times.
Are you sure that was Quentin Dox? I think it was somebody besides Quentin.
I've seen him on many, many times.
I thought somebody came on one of the cases for him. Do you have the file?
I can grab it.
Please.
Do I need to call him or is he here?
She's checking on the file. Are we sure it's Dox?
Yes.
Yeah, call him. I think. I mean,
The last time we were here, you held a competency and then we moved it to exam.
yeah, please call him. Is it
Okay,
Mr.
I'll call
Dox? Yeah. What time was that scheduled?
That's still
10:45.
What is going on with some of these people? Can I see the file? Yeah, call him up, would you please? Yeah, call him, Lisa. Where's the defendant at?
He's locked up back here.
This is the
Judge,
case
he said
now.
he's on his, sorry, he said he's on his way. He's at Sibley Road.
I know, but it's scheduled for 10:45. I mean, come on. Jeez. All right, Charles Edward Zuch, 267-702-544.
And good afternoon, Your Honor. Not today. People be 85.
Good morning or good afternoon, Your Honor. Alyssa Segura with the Neighborhood Defender Service, P86432, appearing on behalf of Charles Siege, who stands to my right. Say your name.
Siege.
All right, today's the date scheduled for preliminary examination. We have a multiple count felony. Can't see it. It's 7. It looks like 7 counts with habitual second. Possession with intent to deliver 50 grams or more, but less than 450 of cocaine. Possession of ammunition by a prohibited person, possession of a firearm by a prohibited person, CCW, felony firearm, 3 counts of felony firearm. Any preliminary matters that you have?
Preliminary matter, Your Honor. This time I'm visiting proposed exhibit number 1, which is going to be certified copy of the register of actions that shows the defendant was sentenced on a crime of assault with intent to rob while armed on December 11, 2008. And I did show this copy to defense counsel as well.
Any objection?
No objection.
People's one is admitted. Sir, you can have a seat. You sure can. And I want her to mark those though, with her initials, and
I can bring it up.
that's okay.
Some courts like it for us to mark them, so I apologize.
That's who's got.
phone is that? Fine, sir, Your Honor. Oh, sir, they didn't convert yet. I don't know.
Just was that, yeah.
Detective, your name, please.
Technical. This would take this back.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, that's right.
It is afternoon.
What was your name?
Detective Broke, Chief Article 18.
All right. So we've had that admitted. Any other preliminary matters, Mrs. Farman? Any other preliminary matters, Mr. Guerrero?
Just a mutual order of sequestration, Judge.
All witnesses, with the exception of the officer in charge and the defendant, are to leave the courtroom. I'm not keeping you up, am I, Mr. Zuch? Why don't you sit up a little?
And Your Honor, there are, for the record, there are two individuals in the courtroom. One is Mr. Seach's father and the other is his girlfriend. Neither were present at the time of this incident. If this were to proceed to trial, I would not intend on calling them as witnesses.
Then
I
they-
don't believe the prosecutor would as either, but
Then they can remain in the court.
thank you, Judge.
Judge, I did also want to mention that the officer in charge, who is a CD's Madeline Detective Rowe, is also going to be my third witness in this game. In this case.
The three witnesses in this case?
That's
Okay. Go ahead. Call your first witness.
Officer Oliver.
Come on up here, officer, please. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear affirm. You solemnly swear affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you'll give in these proceedings will be the whole truth up you got.
Yes, I did.
Could you spell your name for my reporter, please?
Kyle, Kyle, Tolliver, Tollive.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Officer Oliver.
Oh.
Officer, could you tell us where you're employed?
The Brownstown Police Department.
What do you do in Provincetown?
I'm a police officer.
And how long have you been an officer then?
Approximately 9 years.
And were you employed as an officer on March 16th, 2025?
I was.
And at some point, did your duty take you out near Assembly Road in I-75?
I defeated
Was that in Trenton County, Illinois?
Brownstown.
Okay.
That's-
Was that in Trenton or Brownstown? I think it was the Trenton, over the border?
No, the zip code can sometimes come out as Trenton.
Okay, I understand. What's at this area that we live in the 75?
What's that, the area?
Yeah, what's in that area? What were you doing in that area?
So that can track this down.
Okay, and where was the travel stop at?
On Sibley Road over I-75.
Okay, and then what was the traffic stop for?
It was for the vehicle that was stopped. The initial traffic stop was for the vehicle driving left of center crossing double yellow.
Okay, and is this where you initially saw the vehicle?
That was
Where is it you initially saw the vehicle?
pulling into the Palace Motel and getting a telegraph in Brownstown.
Okay, and what was it you were doing in the Palace Motel?
I was conducting surveillance of the motel for short stay traffic.
Why were you conducting surveillance on that hotel?
At the time, I was part of what we call the CSU, Unit Community Support Unit, with a focus on narcotic enforcement.
Okay, and did you observe, you stated that you observed this vehicle previously at this motel?
Prior to the date given,
On the same day, March 16th, 2025, did you see this vehicle?
yes,
Okay, and you saw it in that motel?
yes.
What did you see that vehicle doing?
That vehicle pulled in and it stayed for approximately 3 minutes and then left, which would be considered short stay traffic, which is indicative to possible narcotics sales and no purchases.
Okay, and then you stated at some point you conducted a traffic stop. How long did it take for you to conduct a traffic stop after seeing it at the motel, the vehicle at the motel?
Approximately 2 to 3 minutes.
And then after you conducted the traffic stop, did the vehicle stop?
Yes,
And did you approach the vehicle?
yes,
And how many occupants were in the vehicle?
2,
And would you recognize any of the occupants that you saw on today?
yes.
Did you take a look around the courtroom and point out and identify an article clothing that individual is wearing?
The driver is wearing a green shirt and green pants.
Your Honor, this time either under the fuck the witnesses identified Mr. Seach, I
The
believe.
record should so reflect.
Thank you. And what happened while we were approaching the driver's side?
I made my initial contact to gain identification of the driver, and Officer Walker and Waterworth arrived at my stop.
Okay. Were they called to your stop or did they just arrive?
They arrived as backup secondary officers.
And did you make a call for them?
No,
Okay. So after these officers arrived, what do you think else happened?
I gained the driver's license and a verbal identification of the front passenger. While I was checking the driving status of the driver and the identification of the passenger through dispatch, Officer Walker utilized his canine partner for opening study.
Okay, can we provide with any information from Officer Walker?
I was, he advised me that his canine
Objection,
partner.
Judge. I don't your side.
Judge is not going to do that, I serve that it's a factual listener, he's provided with information based on information, conducts an investigation, or does something else based on that.
Judge, so my response would be just that he can testify to what he did after having a conversation with us.
I'll sustain the objection, strike that portion of the testimony. Repeat, please, your question.
Thank you, Your Honor. And based on the information you were provided by Officer, is it, Walker, what did you do?
Well, I got the female passenger out after Officer Walker secured his canine partner, and then Officer Walker got me driving around.
Okay, and then what happened after that?
Officer Walker observed some narcotics.
Judge, I would object to any observations that Officer Walker made, or that he only testified to his observations.
Same.
Did you observe anything personally?
Yeah, I plain view that I was dealing with. Once I conducted the inventory search, no issue, no.
What was the inventory search in the convict for? Or why were you conducting an inventory search?
We conducted the research because Officer Walker had already placed the driver in custody based on his observations and hiding. And I had the female passenger step out. I asked her if she had anything illegal on her person. She said no, but quickly recanted.
Judge, I would object to any statements made by, as hearsay by the passenger.
And Judge, again, it's not going for the truth, but I understood that she stated no to this, no to having narcotics on her.
Did she make any incriminating statements about the defendant? About Mr. Zuch?
I do not recall.
Okay, I'm gonna overrule. Go ahead and finish your answer.
What did the passenger do?
She provided me with a small bag of suspected narcotics that she moved from her bra.
Okay. And then, was that individual placed under arrest?
She was immediately placed under arrest at that time.
And so you stated you conducted an inventory search?
Yes.
Were you the only officer conducting the search?
The officer wanted her assistant.
Okay, and did you recover anything?
I did. I recovered a large brick of suspected narcotics from the driver's side floorboard that was in a solid case. 2 spoons with narcotic residue on. We suspected narcotic residue on them. A loaded firearm that was tucked between the driver's seat and the center console.
How did you know the firearm was loaded?
I made it, once I discovered the firearm, I made it safe. I'm leaving the safe. I jacked it around from the chain.
Was that firearm placed in evidence?
Yes.
Okay. And you stated that it was found on the driver's side, what was it between?
The driver's seat, center console.
Okay. And you also stated that you recovered suspected narcotics from the floorboard. Could you tell us how that was packaged, if you recall?
The
What it looked like?
suspected narcotics was a white brick that was placed in the black shopping bag that was also placed in a soft case. Of the driver's side.
Okay, and what is it? What else did you recover from this vehicle?
There was a blue cylinder hanging from the steering column that contained suspected narcotics. There was a baggie in the driver's door mat pocket that contained suspected narcotics. There were shotgun shells in the center console. I recovered several cell phones throughout the vehicle. Also, additional smaller amounts of suspected narcotics that were in flush. First bag in the back seat was located. There was also an additional rounds of ammunition found and loaded in the magazine by Officer Walker.
Okay, was this all the items that you recovered were placed in evidence?
Yes.
Did you recall if you recovered anything else or saw anything else?
There was also items removed from the defendant's of the driver's person that was taken from Officer Walker.
Oh, do you recall if any other items were recovered from the vehicle? Or seen in the vehicle?
Off the top of my head, in the other.
Okay, would it refresh your recollection of viewing the report?
Possibly.
Mayor, first one.
You may,
Please take a look at the report, read it to yourself soundly, and whenever you biology has the response, please don't have an audience.
Mr. Dux, you're late.
Morning, officer.
Do you remember the report?
Yeah.
Okay, if you recall what else was found, I mean.
I also discovered a female's ID and social security card that did not belong to the female passenger.
Okay, and then you stated earlier that you were part of a narcotics team at that point.
It was a community support unit, is what we call it, with a focus on narcotics.
How long were you in that, the community, that specific section?
It was only, that unit was only active for approximately 3 months.
Okay. Do you have any training experience in narcotics?
I've been to multiple narcotics training courses and classes such as President Snow, and then throughout my 9 years of all road patrol as a police officer, I've come across several narcotic arrests, for instance, involving suspected narcotics.
Okay. You stated earlier that you found 2 cell phones, multiple cell phones.
Yes,
And how many cell phones was they found?
release 4.
Okay. And do you know who those belong to? There were 2 individuals in the vehicle. Do you know who they belong to?
I assume it belonged to.
Judge, I would object to speculation.
Sustained.
So you stated that you've dealt with narcotics before. Do you know what a mobile phone that you hit up to?
Narcotics sales.
Okay, was there anything else found in that vehicle that would indicate this as well?
There was also 2 digital scales that were discovered in the.
Okay. And then, and following that, did you do anything else in this investigation?
Once all the evidence was collected from the vehicle, the inventory was completed, and the vehicle was removed from the scene by Marcus Towing. I transported all the evidence back to the station where it was cataloged and photographed and placed in the evidence. And the detective bureau was notified.
Nothing for the police witness. Thank you.
Ross?
Mr. Graham. So you indicated that the first time that you observed this vehicle was in the motel parking lot, is that right?
Pulling into the motel,
Okay. And you indicated that it stayed for 3 minutes.
approximately.
You indicated, or I guess you did not indicate whether anyone came up to that vehicle, right?
Correct.
I mean, you didn't see anyone leave the vehicle,
Correct.
and you didn't see any hand-to-hand transactions with that vehicle.
Correct.
But you followed that vehicle once it left the location, right?
I did.
Okay. And prior to that, you were not familiar with this vehicle, were you?
I was not.
Or the occupants that were in this vehicle?
I was not.
But you followed it because you suspected that it was involved in some type of narcotics?
Yes.
When you followed that vehicle, in observing it, you seen that it crossed over a double yellow line. Is that what you indicated?
Yes.
What crossed over the double yellow?
The vehicle.
The whole vehicle?
Partial parking vehicle.
What part of the vehicle?
The driver's side.
The driver's side. So the entire driver's side passed over this yellow line.
Yes. Not the entire vehicle, but the driver's. The word crossed over the double yellow.
Would the tires have the tires crossed over the double yellow?
Yes, the driver's side tires.
Understood. So both tires, so the front left and the back left crossed over this line. All right, understood. And so you conducted a traffic stop because of this observation, right?
Correct.
But you conducted this likely because it was a pretextual stop. Would you agree with that?
No, I wouldn't jump to the pretextual stop.
I don't think he's argumentative, Judge. I'm asking him the reason behind why he's following.
I think you need to rephrase. I'm gonna sustain the objection. You can rephrase if you want.
Understood. So I guess just to backtrack, you followed it because you were suspicious of this vehicle, right?
Right.
But you didn't observe anything at the motel that would lead you to conduct a traffic stop, correct? That's why you followed the vehicle.
You're gonna have to keep your voice up a little bit, okay?
And so this observation of crossing the double yellow allowed you to conduct a traffic stop, is that right?
Yes.
Understood. Now, you were driving a scout car at that point, is that right?
No.
No, what were you driving?
An unmarked police F1 division.
An unmarked, but you yourself had uniform on, is that right?
I was in plain clothes, but I had my police vest on with bag, or police here.
Understood. So was your vehicle equipped with a dash camera?
No.
It was not. All right. So you don't have anything to show that this vehicle actually crossed over the vehicle. When you approached, you indicated the reason as to why you stopped, right?
Yes.
And then the dog sniff happened, correct?
Yes.
And this led to a inventory search for recovery of narcotics, correct?
Yes.
And the driver was arrested because of observations not only by you, but Officer Walker, right?
Yes.
But you never wrote a ticket to Mr. Seach for crossing over a double yellow line. Would you agree with that?
Right.
And you towed the car, you processed an impound slip for this car, correct?
Slip, I do not recall until the body slip me this on the pregnant.
You didn't process that then, right?
I don't recall.
Understood. I know the questions.
Any redirect?
Incidents like this that are involving possible felony charges, we've been advised to hold off on issuing citations until
Judge, I would object to that as hearsay when it was told by someone else. It's not finding something else that someone told them.
Well, Judge, I would also state that he's specifying as to why he did it.
Yeah, I'm gonna overrule the objection.
Officer Teller, you stated it's because of policy or something you told.
Yeah, we've been advised by our detective bureau and our supervisors when the cases involving possible felony charges is to hold off on issuing any citations until told otherwise by an OIC.
Okay, nothing further this one. Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Berry?
I have no follow-up, Judge.
Thank you. You can step down, sir. Call your next witness. All right, you can come on right up here, officer. Let me ask you to raise your right hand. You solemnly swear affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you'll give in these proceedings will be the whole truth. So help you God.
I do.
Okay, have a seat, please. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Officer Mulder.
Good. Crosstown Police Department.
What do you do at the police department?
I'm a canine handler, the animal control officer.
How long have you been an officer for?
7 years.
How long have you been with K9?
Since September of 2023.
Were you employed as a K9 handler on March 16, 2025?
Yes.
Okay. And going through, you stated you're a K9 handler. What kind of training and experience do you need to become a K9 handler? Certifications?
Initially, it's a 3-month academy process before the dog is certified, and we have to pass the certification test after that 3-month process before you were certified to use the dog on the road. From there, I attend training 8 hours every Wednesday of the month.
Okay. And are you certified?
Yes.
And who's your partner?
Bay.
And was Bane with you on March 16, 2025?
Yes.
And that's something like that you got in your sibling over 75?
Yes.
Okay, is that in the 24 miles an hour?
Right.
Is that gonna be on Wayne?
Yes.
Okay. And what were you doing in that area?
I was assisting Officer Caliber at a training service.
Okay. Just you and Bane?
Yes.
And you were actually, did you serve the actual officials of the office?
Yes.
Would you recognize any individuals that you saw today?
Yes.
Could you take a look around the court and point out and identify our polling individual?
The male seated right there in the green.
And I just under there, the rest of that.
Records should still reflect.
Where was this individual when we first encountered him?
On the driver's seat of the vehicle on the traffic stop.
Can you state that you arrived with your dog Bane? Is that correct?
Yes.
And what did you do with Bane?
I conducted an open air sniff of the vehicle at Officer Caliber's request.
Was, you stated Officer Tolliver was present.
Yes.
Do you recall what he was doing when you made the scene?
When I arrived, he was still at the window of the vehicle making initial contacts with the driver and passenger.
How long did it take for you to arrive at the you recall?
Less than 2 minutes.
And you stated that you didn't open air him?
Yes.
Okay, could you go through how that's kind of done?
I took my cannon partner to the front passenger bumper of the vehicle. From there, we hook him up to a different collar. He knows that when I change his collar, that it's a narcotic collar. I hooked him up to that. I told him to find over. We ran around the car in counterclockwise direction. And then on the driver's door seam, he scratched and bit at the door, which is a positive indication for narcotic odor. He is an aggressive indication, and he is trained to scratch or bite that odor.
Okay. And you stated he did that at the driver's side of the road?
Yes, the driver's door seam.
Do you know where the passengers were the vehicle skill or were they outside of the vehicle?
They're inside the vehicle.
How many individuals were on the vehicle? 2. Okay. And what did you do after there was an indication?
I placed my cannon partner back in my vehicle, went back up to the defendant's vehicle. Officer Tolliver got the passenger out while I got the defendant's seat right there out of the vehicle. I asked him if I could pat him down for weapons, located a small knife in his right front pocket.
Did Mr. Seach allow you to pat him down?
Yes.
And did you observe anything when Mr. Seach exited the vehicle?
Yes.
What did you observe?
I observed a bag of what I suspected to be a clear plastic bag of white powdery substance in the mat pocket of the driver's door while I was patting down the weapons.
Okay. What did you do with that bag that you observed?
I left it there.
And was there a search on the vehicle?
Yes.
Did you assist in the search?
Yes.
Okay. Who searched the vehicle?
Officer Tolliver.
Okay. And did you let Officer Tolliver know about the indication?
Yes.
And did you recover anything personally?
Yes.
What did you recover?
Off the defendant, a clear glass pipe I suspected for smoking narcotics, as well as a rock that I suspected to be crack cocaine. Which when I asked the defendant, "What is this?" he said it was dope. I secured that, and then while assisting in the search of the vehicle, I located a magazine with magazine for a handgun with 9mm ammunition.
Was Mr. Seach placed under arrest?
Yes.
At what point was he placed under arrest?
When I secured him in handcuffs, when after I patted him down for weapons, when I observed what I suspected to be narcotics in the passenger door mat pocket, is when I secured him in handcuffs behind the back and placed him in my shoulder.
Okay, was he detained or placed under arrest at that point?
Placed him.
And then did you do anything else in this case?
Transported the defendant to the jail facility for processing.
Okay.
Cross.
Officer, you arrived on scene, you indicated less than 2 minutes after Officer Tolliver, is that right?
Yes.
How were you notified of this traffic stop?
I believe via phone.
Okay, did Officer Tolliver contact you?
Yes.
He did?
Yes.
Okay, and he requested your assistance in this traffic stop?
Yes.
Okay. There was suspicion that this car was involved in narcotics, right?
Yes.
That's why you were involved.
Yes.
And when you got there, you at some point you had your dog, right?
Yes.
And the dog circled and gave an indication of positive narcotics, right?
Yes.
Now, how long has this dog been in this field, I guess?
2.5 years.
Okay, and has the dog gave a false alert?
I wouldn't know that. There's been, can I elaborate? There's been instances where the dog gives a positive indication for narcotic odor. We don't locate anything during the search. I cannot confirm that that would be what I would call a false alert. Are dogs perfect? No, absolutely not. They're like humans as well. So, but I can't say that it's a false, if that makes sense.
Understood. So the dog may alert and something may not be found, basically. Understood. Now, in this situation, he scratched and bit at the door. Is that a yes?
Yes.
That was at the driver's side,
Yes.
but narcotics were found in other areas of the car. Would you agree with that?
I don't know. I didn't conduct the search of the vehicle other than the trunk.
So you were just present when the narcotics were recovered from the passenger, from the driver's side.
Yes.
You were not aware of anything that occurred on the passenger side.
Right.
Understood. The dog did not alert the passenger side though, right? Now, when Mr. Seach was removed from the driver's side, and placed in handcuffs prior to the observation of what you observed in the door, he was not under arrest at that point. Do you agree with me?
Can you rephrase that again?
Yes. So you had indicated that when you observed the narcotics, the first time that you observed the narcotics was when you were placing him in handcuffs. Is that right?
No.
No. When did you first observe the narcotics?
But I was patting him down for wellings and then moving my foot to pocket. He was not hanging up.
Okay, so when you were patting him down, was he under arrest at that point?
No.
Understood. So he was just being detained.
Correct.
Okay. Then once you observed the narcotics, that is when the determination was that he was going to be arrested. As it related to the firearm, you had indicated that you found a loaded magazine in the trunk of the car.
Yes.
So you participated in some of the search of this vehicle.
Yes.
Did you conduct or did you prepare the tow slip for the tow company?
I don't recall.
Understood. So, but you wouldn't be the one that did that then.
I do sometimes, but I don't recall if I did a function.
Okay. Understood. I have no further questions.
Any other questions?
Briefly, and Officer Walker did gain any game on any other areas of the vehicle.
So the driver that you were seeing.
Okay. Nothing good.
Acknowledged.
You can step down, sir. Thank you. Call your next witness.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you. Have a good day. All right, Detective, you can come on up here. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear affirm under penalties of perjury the testimony you'll give in these proceedings will be the whole true self you got.
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, have a seat, please.
Thank you, Your Honor, and good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon.
Detective, could you tell us where you're employed?
Yep, I'm currently employed by the Police Department, assigned to the Michigan State Police Metro Narcotics Enforcement Team, which is a multi-jurisdictional task force.
How long have you been an officer at board?
3.5 years and 2 years with narcotics team.
Okay, were you put in capacity in March 16, 2025?
Yes, I was.
And at some point, did you become involved in the case of the people of the state of Michigan versus Charles Edward Siege?
Yes, I did, ma'am. I was notified by Brownstown Police Department due to the quantity of narcotics seized, that somebody that's full-time in narcotics with extensive training experience should become involved. At that point, I was contacted to run the case and conduct an interview with the defendant.
You stated that you ran the case or see this case?
Yes, I did.
And what did you feel as well see in this case?
Essentially, I come to the Brownstown Police Department. I had a conversation with the arrestee where we discussed the case and what happened, and then I obtained the narcotics, get field tests done, send them to the lab, and then just kind of conduct things through the court process.
Okay, would you recognize the individual who spoke with yourself today?
Yes, I would.
Did you take a look around the board and point out and identify or calling that individual, sorry?
Yes, ma'am. He said I'm seated at the defense table, wearing on her.
Your Honor, this time I directly like the board for the defense to siege.
The record should so reflect.
Your Honor, you stated that you have a lot of experience in narcotics. What is your experience?
Yes, ma'am. I conducted for my assignment to the Metro Narcotics Enforcement Team over 150 controlled substance incidents and arrests just on road patrol, which was the focus of my duties, which led to my assignment to the Metro Narcotics Enforcement Team, where I conduct numerous multi-state, multi-faceted narcotic investigations, large-scale distributors. My training includes full week training in narcotics, training from the Michigan State Police or undercover narcotics school, Desert Snow Narcotics and Addiction School, complex narcotics investigations in Florida, just a long plethora of master narcotics investigation by street cop training, a long list of narcotic-based investigation schools.
And are you familiar with indicators of war narcotics sale and distribution?
Yes, I am.
What are the indicators of you?
A lot of times, what we're looking for is a advanced team is scales, bags, multiple packages, over 100 grams of dope, or cocaine, fentanyl, whatever the controlled substance may be. Typically, these are indicators of a high-level narcotic distributor rather than a user or low-level salesman.
Okay, and you stated that you did have a conversation with Mr. Siege.
Yes, I did.
Where did that conversation take place?
Brownstown Police Department has an interview room within the booking area or their jail area. That's where the interview took place.
Okay, do you know Mr. Siege was Mirandized?
Yes, he was.
How was he Mirandized?
I read Mr. Seach's Miranda rights directly from a UD 52 form, which is by the Michigan State Police, is their Miranda rights card essentially.
And did Mr. Siege understand his rights?
Yes, he did.
How was it you know he understood his rights?
He verbally explained or verbally stated yes when I asked him if he explained what I had read to him.
Did Mr. Siege appear to be under the influence of anything, alcohol, drugs, or anything else?
No.
And did he provide a statement?
Yes, he did.
And what is it that you guys talked about?
We talked about narcotics, where the narcotics came from, the amount seized. Mr. Siege informed me that he was indeed possessing narcotics, what he estimated to be 9 ounces of cocaine when he was in contact with the Brownstown Police Department. In addition to
What is 9 ounces?
9 ounces of approximately 250 grams, 252 grams to be exact, which did check out with the large bulk cocaine from my observation of the reports and my observation of the evidence. Right around that range, the large brick of cocaine that was seized from underneath the driver's seat was approximately 240, 245 grams, which is in the same ballpark.
Did Mr. Siege tell you what he does with this?
Yes, he did. Mr. Siege stated that he is a narcotic distributor. He sells approximately 9 to 18 ounces of cocaine per week, which includes the manufacturing of cocaine into crack cocaine.
And did you, Mr. Siege, speak with him about anything else?
Yes, we did. I asked Mr. Siege about the firearm located inside of the vehicle. Mr. Siege stated he does keep firearm on him for his safety, but while conducting narcotic sales.
Okay. And then regarding the stop of the vehicle, was that part of the conversation?
Yes, it was. Mr. Siege stated that after leaving Palace Motel, he felt tired and groggy. He did admit to crossing the center line, which was the reason for the traffic stop. He just told me that he was sleepy at that time and kind of lost focus while driving the vehicle.
Okay. And then did you and Mr. Siege speak about anything else?
No, just at that point, we ended up ending the conversation. The conversation was audio recorded and uploaded as evidence.
Okay. And then what else, if anything, did you do in this case?
I obtained the evidence. I did a preliminary field test on the suspected narcotics to confirm that they were indeed narcotics. They used a Searchy cocaine ID swipe, which is a pink swipe. Once you place it onto a substance you believe to be cocaine, will turn blue if the substance does indeed contain cocaine. I conducted that in that office after obtaining the evidence.
Okay, who the suspected narcotics weigh?
I want to say I just know just over 240 grams. I'd have to review the report to get you the exact number. But that was the large brick. There were multiple other small individually packaged bags that were seized inside of the car. At this point, without they all appear to be cocaine. I just tested the one for redundancy and the rest of them was in the lab.
Okay, do you recall what the indication was when we did conduct the test?
Positive for cocaine.
And you stated that they were sent to the lab?
Yep, they were sent to the lab. They should be returned in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. And then was there a report for this preliminary analysis?
Yep, there's a preliminary field test analysis form that I fill out to show what test kit I used, the weight, and what the result of the test was. I did complete that and had it uploaded and passed it on to you guys.
Did you recognize the form that you saw today?
Yes, ma'am, I mean.
You have a name first witness?
You may.
And corrected by being. It's not marked as people's proposed exhibit number. We'll leave number 2. I'll leave the marking report. Do you recognize my name here?
Yes, ma'am.
What is that name here?
This is the preliminary field test analysis form I was talking about.
And is this the field analysis test done regarding this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, does it appear to be an accurate depiction of the results?
Yes, ma'am.
Does it appear to be changed, altered, or manipulated in any sort of way?
No.
And you're on the side, we said, people's proposals.
Any objection?
Judge, understanding the, rules governing preliminary examinations, I do not have an objection, as it relates to the preliminary and only.
People's two is admitted.
And, what was the indication on that report?
Positive for cocaine.
And was the weight placed on there?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the weight?
244.3 grams.
Did you do anything else on investigating this case?
No, not at this time. I just sent the rest of the narcotics to the lab, and that's it.
Nothing further for this witness.
Any questions?
Just briefly, Judge. Detective, you indicated that Mr. Siege, had said that he crossed the double yellow line during the interview, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
But actually the question posed was, do you know when you were stopped? And that's when he indicated, because I crossed the double yellow line. Do you agree with me on that?
I don't recall the exact verbiage that was said by Mr. Seach. I just recall him stating that he crossed the double lines.
And you would agree with me that upon your review of the evidence, the officer informed him of the reason why he was being stopped, correct?
I'm not sure if the officer informed. I can't speak to what Mr. Tolliver or Mr. Walker said during the trial, so I apologize.
But you did review the evidence in this case, correct?
Yes, the evidence didn't tell me what the officer said. I just didn't review every second of the body cam. I'm more concerned with the seized narcotics, the reports, things of that nature.
Understood. So you didn't watch, then you're indicating to us today that you did not watch Officer Tolliver's body cam footage when he first approached the car.
Correct.
So, I have no further questions.
Anything else? You can step down. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Judge.
Call your next witness. People,
Defense isn't following witnesses, Judge.
people move to bind over. You agree this is a fact question,
I
correct?
don't, Judge. Actually, if I could just make a brief argument for the record.
Okay.
Your Honor, so I would argue that this was a pretextual stop, and I understand that pretextual stops are not legal, that they're allowed if they have suspicions of something to conduct a traffic stop. But in order for a traffic stop to be conducted, there has to be reasonable suspicion. There has to be a reason as to why they are allowed to conduct a traffic stop to be lawful. Here, Officer Tolliver is alleging that the reason why he stopped this vehicle was because it crossed over a double yellow line. However, he has nothing to support that. There is no dash cam to capture whether this vehicle actually conducted this traffic stop that would allow them to have this interaction that they did involving a dog sniff and inventory search and everything that followed. Additionally, this court has to assess credibility under People v. Anderson. And in this situation, I think that we have to consider the credibility of Officer Tolliver. I asked, or actually the prosecutor may have asked Officer Tolliver, did you contact the canine officer? Did you contact Officer Walker? He said no, he didn't. They just showed up. However, when we asked Officer Walker on the stand, how did you arrive on scene? He said he got a phone call. And I asked him, did Officer Tolliver call you? And he said yes. So here we are having one officer discredit another officer. And that officer, that's very important in this situation because, Judge, we have to rely on that officer's testimony that Mr. Siege actually crossed over a double yellow line. That would be the basis for the stop. If that was unlawful, then everything that follows should be suppressed as fruit of the poisonous tree. We have nothing to support that. And so for that reason, Judge, I do think that this is a credibility issue. The court has to assess the credibility under People v. Anderson, and I would ask for this court to dismiss based on that reason.
Very good, Ms. Segura.
That's just a brief response. I believe the officer's credibility didn't be still in question. In fact, he did state that these officers did arrive as a backup for him. I don't believe that there was a misstatement by him. But having forgotten on an obligation to make or whether these individuals back up each other in multiple stops, can't really argue that, Your Honor, because it's not testified to.
Here's the facts, though. Here's the facts. The officer testified that the defendant crossed the yellow line. There's even testimony that the defendant later admitted that. And whether he has in-car cameras or anything else to substantiate it is not the issue. The issue is whether or not he observed the defendant committing a civil infraction. I think he was pretty clear, and I found him to be credible, that he did in fact see the defendant or observe the defendant committing a civil infraction. Therefore, the initial stop was proper. Everything that flowed with it was proper. I'm going to go ahead and bind the defendant over. I'm gonna continue the 75,000 cash or surety bond. I'm gonna give you September July the 28th, sir, at 9 o'clock in the morning. You'll be there at the Criminal Justice Center. So July 28th, all other bond conditions set are continued. I wish you well. Good luck. Mr. Dobbs, come on.
See all the way down.
I'm making chase you all over the place.
This course, my favorite one.
Well, you showed up 2 hours late. If I didn't have these exams, you think I'm gonna keep my staff and the prosecutor and the police to wait? Come on. Maybe you guys are taking too many cases. I mean, I like you, but I know, but you can't be showing up 2 hours late and then I gotta chase you. It's 1:15.
We heard me out on that yet. Last week, they adjourned all the cases for the weather. So now.
Just tell me your parents.
Sorry, it's already couldn't ask. Never said 657.
Your name.
Nothing is not.
So he was found competent to stand trial. Today's the date scheduled for exam. You ready to proceed?
This time people are unable to proceed. There were subpoenas sent to these witnesses. These witnesses being Robert Kruger and Kimberly Rashada. I did have Robert Kruger at some point in Judge Huss's courtroom. Did show up when it was previously set for exam. However, Miss Kimberly Rashada did state that she had health issues or whatnot. I did motion for her to testify via Zoom. That was denied by Judge Husson. These witnesses having subpoenaed multiple times for these exams have not showed up. And I do also have the OIC who's seated to my left who can also.
I don't understand this. Case dismissed. Good luck. Thank you. I'm gonna make sure, Lisa, we take out the bond conditions there. Okay, thank you. Amy Lynn Thomas. Can anybody hear me over there at the police department? How you doing?
I'm well, thanks. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Good morning,
I got Miss
Detective.
Thomas. 1 second.
Okay.
I'll bring her in.
All right, Ms. Thomas, just stand on this red X right here and just make sure you speak loudly so that the judge can hear you, okay?
Okay.
Name,
Amy Thomas.
counsel, your appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Corey Westmore. I'm here on behalf of Ms. Thomas.
Is she seeing me wait formal reading?
That's correct. Yes.
So where has she been for the last 6 years?
Your Honor, she was incarcerated in OCJ about a year ago.
Yeah.
Sent in plea by.
And I must have responded. I don't not respond to these. Let me double check.
So she thought this was third on.
Oh, I told them to set an arraignment pretrial after July 18 of 25, and I said, send notice to jail. Excuse me, in defendant's last address. And that's what we did. And then she didn't show up.
Assuming that she did not receive that.
Why are you making that assumption? You think she?
I'm sure you would.
You don't like to show up, Ms. Thomas.
That I never received it. If it was sent to the last address at file, it was the address that was on.
2, 3,
It was a
4,
DIOP
5.
address.
Slow down. Let me talk. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 warrants is all. Well, congratulations. You want to play games with courts, it's not going to work out well for you, ma'am. Ma'am, if I were you,
yes.
I would stop on this little, I didn't receive it type thing. Okay, come on. I don't want to hear it. Tell some other judge in some other court, some other county, or some other state that. I don't want to hear it. Does she work?
I don't. So.
She stands mute, waits formal reading.
That's correct.
On both? I hope she's got some money because I'm not going to put up with this nonsense. You got to show up in court, ma'am. I don't know who you think
Yes,
you
I
are. You
understand
cannot
that.
ignore courts all over this state like this, okay? 4,010%. I hope you can post. They'll let you make some calls. Your court date will be on July the 30th. That's the earliest. Is that the earliest I can give her, Lisa? Or
Let me check. Yeah, they're not here this Thursday because Judge Hessen is off.
10%. You're gonna have to post that or you're gonna be in custody for 9 days. Stop doing this, okay? Stop doing this. And you have to show up on July the 30th at 9:30 in the morning, even if you post. If you
Yes.
don't, it'll be 40,000 next time. Do we understand one another?
Yes.
You had enough correspondence from us. You knew to show up. And if I were you, I'd start going over to these other courts. Judges don't like this. Maybe some are more understanding than I am, but I'd like to know who you're going to stop this nonsense. You're going to learn a lesson if you don't stop. That's it. Good luck. Have a good day. Have her fill out a petition for a court-appointed detective, please.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're gonna learn a lesson if you don't stop this nonsense. Oh my God. I don't know what I did wrong, but I'm pretty sure I need to stop whatever it was. I'm kind of scared. Oh my God. Those were some classic glasses, though. I'm telling you. I love those glasses. I strategically had to choose her for the thumbnail because I like those glasses so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you so much. Dobby, the JDN conversation was fun. I appreciate it. We could talk about it more in Rhonda's Discord or something. And chat all around was amazing. Thank you, everybody, tonight. Sometimes I feel like maybe it's better if I lurk more. Let chat do its thing and Mama and Rhonda handle things. Y'all need to hear me talking all the time. I just feature chat on the screen and move on to my day. Hey, that's how it goes. All right? All right. That's how it goes. But I do have lots of people that I need to thank tonight, I believe. Most especially Marty Duvall, Wendy Greek, Nina out of the blue, Natasha Kitty, CE430, 4301, Blind Will, Natasha Kitty. Thank you all so much. Miss Natasha Kitty, Miss Natasha Kitty, Miss Natasha Kitty. And I thank Dobby too, wherever Dobby is out there, and Kieran Off and Dillygaff, Mama, Felix. Oh, I gotta thank half of tonight is Felix's fault. Felix said you have to check out this one case, and I went and checked it out. And while I was checking out that one case, I saw the other case right before it where the lady got taken away for being kind of silly, stupid. And I was like, hey, I know people want to watch this, so that's where we are. That's how we got Judge Simmons. And when Felix told me about that one, I had already had the. Thank you so much, Blind Wills, for the gold coin. I already had Judge Dad already put together at that point in time. So it was just a matter of putting them together. Bringing them all together as one. Making them run consecutively, not concurrently, to each other. And that's how we got to tonight's 2-hour extravaganza of legal, interesting cases that are, for a lack of a better term, I forgot what I was going to say. I literally had it right here on my head. See? It's happening to all of us, people. One by one. What can I say? The music just plays. Time moves on. Oh. These are tales we can all learn from. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know how I'm trying to say it. You know. I'm your Lola Foozle. I do these things every single night of the week. And some days are better than others. For now, I am out. Cautionary tale. That's what I was trying to think of. And remember, Only you can take a bite out of crime. Bye. Did I mention I realized that it was cautionary tales that I was trying to think of? Yeah. That's what it was. Healer. Go. That's all I have. This has been embarrassing enough. Bye.